I'm going to show you the Android app stand-up set helper. It's simple. You've got bits and you've got sets. You're going to want to assign some bits to a set. This is the main menu screen. Let's go to the bits screen. We're going to select some bits. We're going to add them to a set. I'm going to create a new set. Going to name it DemoVid. Now we'll head over to the set screen. Now we can arrange the sequence. I want this joke to be first. Now that joke is first. So that's the move button. You hit the move button and then you can move it, move the bit that's selected. One cool thing about the move feature is you can select a sequence to move at the same time. So you hit the move button on a bit and that selects that bit to move. And then after that bit is selected to move, you can hit the move button on another bit. And now that range, that sequence from there to there are all selected to move. So now we can move that whole sequence at once. So, you know, the dog joke, the machine learning joke, the cat burglar joke, we want that sequence to be first. So now dog joke, machine learning joke, cat burglar joke are first. And that's it. That's the basics. Let's go back to the main menu. If you want to add a new bit, you hit the new bit button on the main menu. You can type it in. These days, devices have voice to text. So you can use the voice to text to enter in your bit, which is nice. Another thing, let me show you real quick. If you want to duplicate a set, there's an easy way to do that. So let's say this is the set that I did last week and I want to copy the set for this week, but make some changes, and I want to keep the original, but then modify the new copy. So here's how you do that. You select the set that you want to copy, go to Actions, Add to another set. So I'm going to create a new set. So that's the copy of that set, and that's so it's got the same sequence. So right, the dog joke, the machine learning joke, the cat burglar joke, and now, you know, let's say I want to remove this joke from this new set. Then I can go and add other, you know, other bits, change the sequence. Let me show you one other thing that's related to this. Instead of just copying one set, you can actually combine sets also. So let's say I want to make a new set that combines DemoVid with this other one. I could select both of those and then go to Actions, Add to another set, make the new set. So now that combined set will have, you know, the bits from this set and the bits from this set. So that's an easy way to like take two 5-minute sets and combine them into a 10-minute set. And there won't be duplicates of the bits, you know. The app will see if a bit is already in one set, so it won't add it twice, you know. Yeah, so that's a really useful feature. So stand-up set helper is a really easy and quick way to manage your material and create sets. I'm going to show you a few things about the tags feature. You don't have to use tags, but it can be useful for your own organization. So if you go to the tag screen, it'll show you what tags you've already assigned to bits. You can sort the list by the number of bits that have a tag. So I've got 4 bits with the tag bad, 4 bits with the tag corny. You can sort it by the number of bits, or you can sort it alphabetically. If you click on one of these, it'll take you to the bits screen, filtered for that tag. So that can be really useful when you're making a set. Like, let's say I want to do a set with all my bad jokes. So I go to bad, That brings me to the bit screen filtered for the tag bad. Now I can just select all those, add them to a set. Now I've got a bad set. Took about 5 seconds, so that's pretty useful. Let me show you one other thing about bits. When you're typing them in, it'll give you autocomplete suggestions. So I just typed B, and it knows I've already used the tag bad, so it suggests bad. One other thing, you can add a tag to multiple bits at once. If you select multiple bits on the bit screen, go to Actions, Add Tag. You can add a tag. It also has the autocomplete feature, which is nice. One other thing about tags, you can delete them from the tag screen. Like, let's say you added a bunch of tags that you're not going to use, so you want to get rid of them. You can select them here, go to delete, and then you can delete the tags. And this is not going to delete the bits. This is just a way to clean out tags that are clutter. So that's how you can delete some tags easily. One other thing about tags, you can rename them. So if you do a long click, it'll bring up this thing where you can rename it. So that's how I could rename a tag if I wanted to. And there's also a way to combine tags. So let's say I want to combine my cat tag with my dog's tag. Here's how you can do that. If I try to rename the dog's tag to another tag that already exists, it'll combine those two. And it'll give me this confirmation pop-up. So now I've got 2 cats jokes, and then I could rename that to, pets. So that's a little demo of the tags feature. I'm going to show you the import feature and the export feature. Not everybody's going to use these, but some people might find it useful. The import feature is useful if you have jokes in a document that you want to import into the app. To import a document, well, first let me show you. This is the bit screen. I've got nothing in there. No jokes in the app. So to import, you go to this 3-dot menu in the top right. There's an import button. So you go to select files, and that opens the Android storage picker. That's what this thing is called. You might have seen it with some other apps. It allows you to browse through directories on your device, as well as folders in storage apps like Google Drive. So, right now I'm looking at documents on my device, but I could also check out Google Drive. If I had Dropbox or some other storage apps, I think those would be listed here. But anyway, I'm going to import this .txt document over here. But first, let me show you what that .txt document looks like. So there's that .txt document. I'm just going to open it in Chrome so we can see what the document looks like. So the only thing you need to know is you got to have 2 new lines in between the jokes. So that just means hit enter twice. End of lines, I should say. But that's a programming term. Basically an empty line. So you see how that's a joke, and then there's an empty line, and then that's a joke. That's it. If you if you get that empty line in between jokes, then and it's a .txt document, then you can import it into the app. So let's import it. Boom. Now we got bits in the app. So that's cool. That's how you can import your jokes into the app. Now I'll show you export. There are 3 different ways you can export. You can export all your bits, you can export a selection of bits, and you can export a set. So if you want to export all your bits, that's a useful way to like back up your material. So you go to that 3-dot menu in the top right, and there's export all bits. So then you just need to give it a file name. We'll do export all. So you go to choose location. So now we're back in that Android storage picker where we can, browse through directories on the device or folders in a storage app. Anyway, this location is good, so I just hit save. So now that export is done. And if I go over here, there's that .txt document that I exported. Let me show you how to export a set. So, well, first I should fill up a set with some stuff. So I'm going to add all the bits to a set named a bunch of bees. So now we go to the set named a bunch of bees. So now when we're on the set screen for a specific set, if we go in this 3-dot menu in the top right, now there's an export set button. So same thing, you just give it a file name, choose the location, and that's it. That'll export the set. So the third way to export is a selection. And so you export a selection from the bit screen, right? So you go to the bit screen, you select some, whoops, didn't mean to do that. You export some bits that, or I'm sorry, you select some bits that you want to export. And then you go to actions, and then there's the export button. Just give it a file name and choose the location. And that's how you export a selection. And let me show you a trick that this is useful for. I was thinking about building a feature for this app. I was thinking about naming it a joke disposal. So it'd kind of be like a recycling bin or a trash, where like you could get rid of bits, but they're not deleted permanently. Right? But like maybe you're just sick of looking at them, they're old stuff, and you want to focus on your new stuff. So there's a trick that you can do by combining the tag feature with the export feature, which amounts to the same thing as like a joke disposal feature. So this is how you can do a joke disposal. You select some bits that you want to get rid of, but not permanently, and then you add a tag. So joke disposal 21. So I just added that tag to those bits. So now, you can pull up the bits with that tag. And now it's easy to just select all those. You can go to actions, export, JD21, choose location. That's a good location. Export done. So now I've got that document with those bits exported. So now if I come back here, now I've got those bits selected, right? Those are the bits with this tag. Now I can delete those from the app. So now they're deleted from the app, but I've got them backed up in this document. So that's how you can do a joke disposal. To get rid of some bits that you're sick of looking at, but you want to save them just in case you want to look at them in the future. So that's importing and exporting, and also the joke disposal trick. I'm going to show you the way to do alternate versions of jokes. This is a feature that you don't have to use, but some people might find it useful. So the idea is, like, for example, I found that I edited some jokes to death. And when I found the original version was funnier. So that's one example of why it can be useful to store different versions of a joke rather than just editing it and losing the previous versions. So let me show you how to do that in this app. you go to the bit screen, and that's one way you can get to the bit version screen. So you go to the bit screen, you click on a bit, and then you can go to the bit version screen. But I've only got one version for that bit. So let's actually make a new version. So it's going to be a bunch of 5s. So now that's the new default version. So we don't see the old version on the bit screen. That's the nice thing about this feature, is it's got a default version for every bit. So if I want to change what the default version is, I can go to the bit version screen and say, yeah, I want the original version to be the default version because it's not a bunch of 5s. So now that's the default version. But let me show you something while we're talking about that. Let's say I add, these jokes to a set. I'm going to call it the 44 set. Let's go to the 44 set. So here's the 44 set. There's that joke. There's the default version of that joke. So I showed you how to get to the bit version screen from the bit screen. But right now we're on the set screen. If we go to the bit version screen from the set screen, now we're not choosing the default version. Now we're choosing the set version for this specific set. You see how it says 44 and it says set version? So let me just show you that again, so to make it more clear, just in case this is confusing. You can get to the bit version screen from the bit screen, and then you can choose the default version. Or you can get to the bit version screen from a set screen, and then you can choose the set version for that bit for that specific set. So let's say for this specific set, I want to use the 5s version of this joke because I like that version in the context of this set. So now for this set, the 5s is the version that's going to show up. So that's a little bit about bit versions. Let me show you a couple other things to do with that. Let's go back to that bit version screen. So let's say I want to delete this version. This is how you can delete a version. You go to the bit version screen, click the version you want to delete, then you can delete it. And let me show you how to duplicate a version. So this is an easy way to copy the text from one version and then make that the basis for the new version. So you click on the version from the bit version screen, go to duplicate version. So now we're working on a new version that's based on that version. And so now we've got that in there. And that's, when you make a new version, it defaults to making it the default. So there's this checkbox right here, make default version. So right now we're making a new version, right? And so if I uncheck that, now it's not going to be the default version, but I'll have it there. So that's a little bit about that. While I'm showing you this, I could point out one other thing. You might have noticed when I made a new version, the tag was already there. And you can see it says bit tags. It doesn't say version tags, it says bit tags. So I just want to point out that tags are assigned to bits, not specific versions. So when you make a new version, you don't have to, assign bits. You don't have to assign tags to it again. That's some minutia. You don't need to remember that or know about that, but just in case anyone was wondering. So anyway, that's the alternate version feature.